Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Glad you can join us.
I'm smooth as anything again. We're straight
Yeah.
on. We're learning. We're
Yeah.
getting to do it properly now.
You didn't have as much running around to do, did you?
Oh, how wonderful to see everyone here already. Hi, everyone.
Glad you all enjoy.
So, should we start off with the big hi to our members first?
Yeah.
So, firstly, I'd like to say a big hello to all the members: Linda Jacko, Mother Wolf, Ellen Fisher, Gaz Gazia, Maxine Ray, Anne Lockie, Deborah Barnes, Nina Moir, Blue Nines, BBC TV, a different videographer with opinions, Denise McGuinness, and Shelley Bean. Big welcome to all of you. We've just made you a new video on the membership page, so it's there for whenever you're ready. Tomorrow afternoon we'll upload it to the main page so everyone gets to see it. Right?
Who's on? People from Scotland, people from Maine.
Maine, wow. You're welcome, Anne.
What's the weather like in Scotland now? We're supposed to be getting an Arctic blast tomorrow, I think, from the start of tomorrow.
Well, we're meant to be getting one ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
But
Scotland normally get first, don't they?
And you, Phil. Thanks for coming, Phil. Love.
Oregon.
Yeah. Well, this Arctic blast, if it does hit us here, we're going to lose all the buds on the fruit trees and everything else, aren't we?
I don't know. I think with trees, they're quite strong, aren't they?
I know if it's an Arctic blast, that indicates it's some severe cold blast, doesn't it? So, a mini freeze or something like that is really going to affect the buds on the trees, I'd say.
Especially just coming into spring now.
Hi, Shelley. You've just missed your shout out, love.
What's occurring?
We give a shout out to the members on the live stream every week, and we've just said hello to you. Yeah.
Hi, Leona from Ontario.
It's lovely to see all the places everyone's from, isn't it?
Yeah. You just love to go and visit everyone.
Yeah. Well, I was chatting to Bridget earlier. Is she with us yet? And she's only in Cornwall in the UK. And when I watched the video, I said, I feel like I'm sat at the table with you having a coffee. Because we're both slurping coffee as I'm watching her video. And she said, one day we will. She said, but it'll probably be interactive like this. Yeah. So we've done that a couple of times, haven't we?
That'd be good to do that. The Zoom thing with
I don't know how many people you can get on a Zoom meeting though.
How do we like our canned potatoes?
They're really good, Rena. This evening, as a little tidbit, we've just made leek and potato soup. And instead of me peeling fresh potatoes, I actually used some of the potatoes that I'd canned early last week. If you remember, if you watched it, 3 of the jars siphoned, so they needed using up. So I actually used them in the leek and potato soup tonight, and it's delicious. So we videoed it. We've just uploaded it for the members to see as a bonus for them, a preview of it. So it will be released on the channel tomorrow. So that's tomorrow's video using the canned potatoes. Barry Island. Wow. When I was at school, Shelley, they did
every year our trips were to Barry Island.
Trips to Barry Island. These days they're off to America, Italy, all over the world. Ours were to places like Barry Island, we're being different places.
Love the camera video.
Oh, thank you.
Leeks have been added to the
Restricted
Yeah,
list.
there's restricted list in supermarkets. You can only buy 3 of them now. So that's another thing added to the list now.
Because I buy them cheap in the food initiative, part of the title was going to be leek and potato soup, cheap and healthy. And then I had to remember, not everyone buys like me from the food initiatives, and they're not necessarily cheap anymore. Yeah, and they've just been restricted to 3, haven't they? So, yeah.
And it's only going to get worse.
That's what you said to me when I was making it. You've used your ration now, because I used 3 leeks in the soup. And leeks are so good for you as well, aren't they?
And if you do have leeks and you cut the ends off, make sure you plant them, because you'll get more leeks then. Yeah. Especially if you can't get them in the supermarkets.
And chives and spring onions, all of those are cut and come again. Plants, fabulous. Hi Bridget, I've just been talking about our little chat earlier we had. So, I felt like I was at your table having a coffee with you. I love leek-an. It's so versatile as well. I actually dehydrated some leeks a few months ago and powdered them down. So I've got leek powder now as well, where I can just throw that in. But I do like the strands of it,
the taste of it,
yeah, the rings.
Texture. It's not just leeks that you can do it with. You can do it with spring onions, chives. Especially in this day and age, you may as well be growing them than throwing them away.
Well, especially because they'll just take care of themselves. You don't need to give them any, if they get strangulated by weeds or whatever, just weed around them. But other than that, they're going to take care of themselves. We don't feed or do any of that. It's just rainwater, and if it hasn't rained for 3 days, we'll give everything a water. But there's no extra care than anything else, is it? And they've been producing for 4 or 5 years now, and we're just cutting and coming again all the time.
We did plant some as well, didn't we? We did plant a load of seeds and stuff.
Initially. But what I'm saying, each and every time now, if I bring them in from a vegetable haul from doing the shopping or whatever, the ends go back out, don't they?
Yeah. Never tried.
We did actually go down and check on the wild garlic this week, and we were hoping to bring you a video on the wild garlic, but the spring, even the false spring, hasn't come as early as it has other
They were
years.
there, but they were only small.
They were just literally coming through the tips of the leaves, weren't they, tiny? So it'll be a week or 2 yet.
Depending on the frost now.
Oh, thanks, Valkyrie.
And Melinda.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely, Melinda. Thank you.
Do you have food pantries like we have here in the US?
Most people don't. We do. We have a food pantry.
I thought a lot of people in America didn't have them.
Mr. Wallflowers set one up for me. But mostly here, people don't. It's if you've got an old-fashioned
where anybody can get the food for free, like the food initiatives.
Oh, I thought you meant in the house.
No.
Do you have food pantries like we have? You can get the food for free. The only place you'd get food for free here is like a food bank, which you'd have to be signed up for if you're particularly suffering with your finances, and you'd have to be on benefits for that and still struggling.
Some of the initiatives will give the food away if it's...
They'll give particular items away, few and far between. Bread is always free at the food pantries we go to. The food pantries and the food initiatives here, we buy from. And there'll be certain things that are free. The bread's always free. And sometimes they'll have a product that's free that you can take if they've got surplus of and they can't get rid of it. Or sometimes there'll be sandwiches with fillings in, things like that can't be left. But the only things that are free would be the food bank.
Yeah, Phil, you can put the leeks in the water first if you want to, just grow the ends a little bit. Or you can just plant them straight out.
You can just plant them out in the damp soil and they'll do the same thing. I mean, obviously not yet, once the last frosts are gone. But then again, the leeks grow best through the winter time anyway, don't they?
Rand's bought wild garlic seeds.
Oh, lovely. Wild garlic seeds, so I'm
I
hoping
didn't know
next
you
year.
get wild garlic seeds.
That'd be fabulous, and they might take a couple of years to bulb up. Because when we go picking garlic, we never purposely dig a bulb up, but sometimes you get baby ones by accident, little tiny baby bulbs. And if we do that, then we will replant them in the garden. And we've had some come up, but they're taking the time for the leaves to grow bigger. We'll get a couple of small leaves the first couple of years, and then they'll grow, and the patch will grow, then they'll duplicate. But that's fabulous. You can buy the seeds, yeah. Do you mind me asking where you bought those from, Anne?
And the wild garlic's a lot tastier than the bulb garlic.
Mid-April for you, yeah. I'm fourth week in April, last week in April, and then I still leave it a week or two anyway to make sure before I plant anything out that I've grown and kept inside. Oh, Jan, that's great. You've got an appointment. That's fabulous. Please don't miss it, and please stick to it. It took me 2 years. I finally had the 2 ugly ones removed, and I'm back again on Tuesday, and I'm hoping just to crack on, and I should have them replaced pretty soon. I can give you a full beam and smile, and I'm very reluctant to it at the moment because the ugly ones have gone, and now I've got a big gleaming gap. So
that's on the 52nd wedding anniversary.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. 52 years. Wow.
You could have been out by now.
She could have been.
Hi, Steve. I should put them on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Pesky dogs always run out, Phil. In out, and the cats. So what's everyone been up to? Anything gleaming out? Yeah, all round the clock. Is he big enough to go through a cat flap? Or small enough, should I say? So what did everyone think about the Matt Hancock emails being leaked?
Well, the WhatsApp messages, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't read most of them. We've only seen a few headlines. A lady sued her, so their brother and sister had a baby.
Oh, congratulations, Auntie.
That was part. Did she say his brother and sister? Didn't even get onto them. Got a batch of 30 chicks ready to arrive in a couple of days.
Wow, a lot of people. Well, I believe there's new rules coming out in June, isn't there, where you're not supposed to be buying any more livestock as from June. So yeah, I'd advise you get as many as you can if that's the rule coming. Has anyone else heard that rule? Supposedly after June in America, you're not supposed to be allowed to buy more livestock.
Yeah, Stephen. It wasn't down to Hancock. It's distraction techniques again.
It's always, they're not going to release information over that if they're not distracting you from something. So they're feeding it to us for one reason or another, aren't they?
Yeah.
But we knew it was a shamble anyway, didn't we?
Yeah. But hopefully it's only a matter of time before they're all in court in the next couple of years.
But then there's other people replace them anyway, doing worse than what they're doing. So it's only a time lap, isn't it? You know, to think he can go from the extreme of what he was doing there, blatant lies, blatant cover-ups, all for him to hit his targets. And then next minute, there he is. On the telly.
He thinks he's some kind of celebrity now. It's okay, Steve. Frank's on.
Hi, Frank, love.
Oh, has he got it on the live?
Is that our Frank?
I'm live with your live.
Wow. Thank you, Frank. Thank you so much. We were just talking about that tosspot Matt Hancock and his releases of emails and how that's going to actually be a cover-up from whatever else they're distracting us from.
I mean,
lovely to see you, Frank.
Supposedly he handed over the emails to that journalist because she was writing the book. And then she's wrote the book, it's been published or something, and she's got all these excess emails and WhatsApp messages that didn't make the book. So as she's going through them, she's thinking, well, this should be released because of the cover-up that they were doing. So that's why she's released them. But he's supposed to have sent her a threatening message a couple of days ago or something. I've seen the headline.
Well, she's got all the insides. It's the same one with the Boris, isn't he? Is that
No,
her?
that's a different one.
Oh, she a different one.
Yeah.
What happened with the Boris one? She's now writing the script for Kia.
Yeah, she's advisor.
Got all the inside information. I'll take it to the other guy now.
Play both sides.
They're all one team anyway.
Yeah.
Two sides of one team. What?
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, well, nearly. Two sides. I've
cheeks.
said it. Two cheeks of the same arse, basically. Let's not, beat around the bush.
And Valkyrie's cooked some fresh seafood straight from the shore. Very nice.
I bet that was delicious. Lovely.
I deliver fish every day. Fresh fish.
We like a bit of fish, don't we? Good for you. I say we like a little bit of junk food in between. We're not going to pretend we're angels, but we do like our healthy food as well, don't we? That leek and potato soup will be absolutely delicious.
Oh, thanks, Geeky. Hello, Lisa from the Whittle. Not too far away from us.
Nice one, love.
We're only in
locals with us. Yeah.
We can't stand them all, ladies, either. They're all the same.
Yeah. We grew up educated to vote Labour, because it was supposed to be our source and that. They're all a shower. All of them are a shower. I wouldn't vote again for any of them, Voting for the new master, I just wouldn't take part anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Where is it against the rule to buy more livestock? Where did you see that?
It was a comment I read on. I can't think. I've only seen it one source, so that's why I was asking if anyone here had mentioned it. But apparently, in America, from June, there's supposed to be either a law being brought in or a law being issued that they can't buy any more livestock after June. So, I'd advise you, if you're in America there and you're looking at buying livestock, now's the time to do it.
I mean, you're already restricted in some states for growing in your garden, even collecting the rainwater, aren't you?
That's it. It's all food source, isn't it? And prevent you from earning any money by selling any of your animals or creating your milks, your cheeses, your eggs, eating the chicken, eating the cow, eating the pig. I'd get whatever you're getting now. If you've got the cash to outlay, get your stuff in.
Make sure you grow stuff in your garden, even if it's only in pots, or grow a little bit anyway.
Everything's better than nothing. You grow one plant, it's better than nothing. You can grow a garden full of food. It'll sustain you for a few months at least. You can learn preserve it. You learn how to cook it and preserve it. It'll take you a lot further.
Yeah, we'll never vote again. Curried parsnip soup, Carol Jones. That sounds nice.
Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Curried parsnip soup.
Love parsnips.
I like them roasted more.
Roasted with honey over the top.
Yeah.
SNP are fighting over who's taking over Jimmy Cranky. Oh, Phil's in and out. Where are you going now, Phil?
The alternative history that I follow, there's a lot more to Scotland than they let us know. They play this game with us saying, they're going to drop Scotland from the UK and they're going to do this, going to do that. It's never going to happen. You know, there's more secrets behind the veil than the devil let us know. It's never going to happen.
That's who hungry people are easy to control. If you control the food, you control the people.
Well, what was his name who said that? One of the Kissinger, was it? Something like that. Yeah.
Parsnip and Bramley apple. It's not just our government. What have they done to us? It's governments all around the world at the minute. They're all power drunk.
One world government. One world order.
What do you recommend? I've never grown anything before. Tomatoes, one cucumber seeds. Yeah. Just get them started now if you can. And
get them started inside.
Put them inside. And
as I say, with my tomatoes, I sow them. Get them on the window ledge with the top over it, like it's a little incubator, whether you're using an egg box or, you know, whatever you use, and put a lid on it. Have them on your window ledge. South facing is always better because you're going to get the maximum of the sun on a south facing window. If not, any window you're getting daylight, it'll be good enough so long as you put a lid on. Keep the temperatures stable. If they get leggy, don't worry about it. Just repot them and plant the legginess down a bit more so you've still got the two leaves showing. That legginess will then form a firmer root, and as that grows you'll have a more stable plant anyway. I grow my tomatoes to be leggy, to purposely repot them to strengthen the roots on them, so
just
I've got a more secure
and
stalk on it. So never worry if they get leggy, just repot them. But yeah, get your tomatoes started now and have a head start on it.
Anything that
you'd be surprised how long it takes for your tomatoes to come through once you start growing them.
I mean, what we put in ours, we've got tomatoes, lettuce,
oregano,
cabbage,
leeks. That's all we've started so far.
And we need to do another load of seeds as well.
Yeah, we'll get that going this week and get some more going.
It was the antibiotics that are being restricted in June for livestock.
No, it's the livestock itself as well, though. Yeah, but when they say the antibiotics are restricted, farmers have to live by the governmental rules that they can only have the livestock if they give them the antibiotics as well. Otherwise, they're not allowed to have the livestock because they're not giving them the medication.
It sounds like something else that they wanted to do.
So they're supposed to have stopped it now. There's supposed to be no pressure, is there, to have any vaccines now across the board, any age?
They've dropped the vaccine now. It's over here for over 50s. They're still pushing it, but for the under 50s, they're not pushing any vaccines at all. And you can't get the AstraZeneca now, can you? That's being pulled together.
Well, they've been forced to admit certain things, haven't they? I mean, I remember sharing a video on Facebook a long time ago about the agenda, the meeting, and it was proved every animal that they tested it on died, yet they still went ahead and injected it into all the humans.
And wanted it to inject it in the kids as well.
You know what I mean? Every animal died, and that was the only testing they did.
But still went ahead with it. And people said we were mad for not taking it.
That's great, Caramel Dimples. What a lovely name. That's great. Get started. It's nothing stopping you. You know, it takes 10-20 minutes. Get yourself organised.
The only problem that you do have is having the space, isn't it? The space on the windowsills.
Well, it depends on how many seeds you start. I mean, one year we actually did some staging in the window. So what that meant was we did 4 trays of seedlings that filled the window ledge completely, and it's a wide window ledge. And on the top, we placed like 2 terracotta pots. Then we put a wooden slat. Then we put more trays of seedlings, 2 terracotta pots, another wooden slat, and then more trays of seedlings. And we did that in 2 different windows and got a load of seedlings on the go. So we could still get access to them to water them, but they were tiered up.
It looked like some kind of squat from the outside.
Oh, son wasn't happy, was he? Because it was in his bedroom. When can I move these out my window, Mum?
Stephen grew some sprouts, but he got hit by white butterfly.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The cabbage flies and everything else.
Abigail, her sister, took the booster. Now she's really ill. All right, guys. Thanks for all the presents, mate. Much appreciated.
Oh, guys, if you see tonight's video, it's on the membership page now. I've used your ladle for my leek and potato soup tonight. Fabulous gifts. Thank you so much. Yeah, so where are we up to in the game now? That digital ID thing was March. It was finishing, wasn't it? The what we were meant to fill in the form, weren't we, on the computer for the digital ID? And I think was it the 14th or 24th of March?
No, the beginning of March, 1st of March.
1st of March, was it? So the public consensus, the public form, will be up now. So depending on how many people filled it in, and what, or it doesn't even depend on how it just depends on how they can cod us on, saying everyone wanted it, you know.
Probably take a few months before it's all collated and they come out with the results of it. Yeah. I'm sure it'll favour them when it comes out. And then how it'll affect us when we put the negative comments on it, because then we're classed as activists or terrorists because we haven't agreed with their agenda. Yeah, you can still start your seeds, Abigail, if you start them inside. Too cold for outside. Les bought some LED lights this week to bring on the ceilings. You've got to be careful of the cost of that, Les. It's great having these heat lamps and the LEDs and that. And it's fantastic that you've got the LED because they are cheaper, but you're still recharging them. Just work out the cost of how much it's costing you to keep that running for 12 or 24 hours a day. You know, it can be costly. I mean, we bought a load of LED lights and put them in the kitchen under the cupboards for when, if we do lose the power, the USB connection, so we can just plug them into a battery charger. So we'll still have light in the kitchen. I thought, you know, how common was it that the government this year, or, you know, the people who do the Christmas fairy lights and that, we were actually out looking for more LED plugs and things that were running off LED. USBs, yeah. And not one of the sets that they were selling in the shops this year had them on, did they? No. Suddenly they disappeared. The USB this year, yeah. Preempting, you see, so they know that the ones that are switched on are looking for that good stuff, and LED and USB is what we were looking for. Amazon and eBay. Yeah, I don't know, but the cost has now gone up for them, hasn't it? You know, so you're paying through the nose. That's it, Kerry. Anyone who doesn't comply is now labelled far right. Crazy. Activists. If you don't agree with something, you know, that's all. What is the background for the name Wallflowers? We used to sell fruit and veg and flowers and plants, and our surname's Wall, and it was just so apt. And once we'd come up with a number of ideas, and once that was said, it stuck, and we love it. Yeah, hope you like it, Valkyrie. We sold plants for a number of years. We sold organic fruit and vegetables. We sold raw milk. And we did a house-to-house delivery service. We did that for a few years, and then we opened a fruit and veg shop and carried on doing it in the shop, and then we moved on to a cafe. We've done a whole number of things over the years, but yeah. Loves on the Prairie. Why else are our school education systems failing all over the world? Kids struggle with the comprehension of thought process, basic life skills. That's it, it's just programming. The education system is just programming. Well, it's the drugs for a start. That's in the food, in the medication, that's in everything else. Then it's the the programming of what they want you to know and filling your head with knowledge just so you can perform a job in a factory or in a garage or the minimal work that needs applying.
They're not teaching children how to create, how to preserve food, how to grow food, how to
Basic life
put a car
skills.
together, how to, proper living skills aren't being taught at schools
They'll
anymore.
teach
It's
you
just
algebra
drummed
and
in with their
logarithms.
theory of what science and history is, and even that's not true.
And they teach you algebra and logarithms. When have you ever used any of that since you left school? But they won't teach you how the tax system works and how to understand the tax system.
How to budget your money. No. We got a challenge one day at school, and I thought it was the best realistic challenge we ever had. One teacher was really down to earth, and he sat us down. He gave us all some newspapers, each classified ads, and he said, "You've all got an imaginary £200. He said, "There's yours, there's yours, there's yours." And he went round this imaginary £200. And he says, "You've got to imagine you've just got your own new home, whether it's a flat, a house, whatever it is that you imagine your ideal home is, that you're just getting now at your first home." He said, "There's all the second-hand classified ads." He said, "Fit your home out the best you can with £200. Bear in mind, this must have been 1982, 1981, whatever. Prices were much different then. £200 was a lot of money.
You don't look old enough.
£200 was a lot of money to us kids back then. And it was such a wonderful challenge. We had the calculators out, we had the pen and paper, adding it all up. And, first instinct would have been, oh, we want that Master Blaster, or we want the record player. But then we were looking at washing machines, cookers, we were looking at material, three-piece suites and different things like that.
Things that you need.
And to think how far that £200 went on a second-hand thing, that's how I learned. And I've never really bought anything new ever since. Since that lesson taught me so much of how good quality stuff you can buy, pre-loved, second-hand, already used, what terminology you want to use. Everything and anything is out there.
One teacher's idea.
One teacher's idea, and that was the best lesson I ever had at school. Best lesson. Taught me realistically money and how to provide for your home. Yeah, but the stuff they're teaching now is nonsense. False history, false religions, false idealisms on everything, it's just nonsense.
Control.
They teach you how to screw two lolly ices together and how fast you can do it. And then when you go to that factory and you're screwing tops on bottles, you be the best. And that kid gets a sticker, then they're chuffed. It's nonsense, isn't it?
Wall is a Cornish surname derived from the King of Cornwall. Wonder if we're entitled to any money.
Probably not, no. You never know.
We're done for treason.
We looked at the history of the name Wall at one point, with it coming from an Irish Gaelic background. And apparently it was those that lived by the wall of the field. The wall.
The perimeter. Lived on the perimeter of the wall of the field.
Yeah. So when people used to live in those communities with the big, stone houses or the villages or whatever, and mud huts, the walls would have lived on the perimeter by the wall. Apparently that's where the name originated from. We thought it was quite good, didn't we?
Schools don't teach home economics anymore. Kids don't cook.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Crazy how many adults don't know how to cook, simple food from simple vegetables. It's amazing how many children can't identify vegetables. You could put a number of vegetables in front of children these days. They probably wouldn't know what an aubergine was. They probably wouldn't be able to name a courgette.
Half of them don't know where chips come from.
So they wouldn't know what potatoes are, half of them.
They asked them in one place where the chips come from, and a lot of them said McDonald's, didn't they, or something.
Oh, potato chips.
Yeah, where the chips come from? McDonald's. We get them from. Not from a vegetable that grows.
It's the basics. It's basic information, isn't it? Your medicine comes from your herbs and your food, and you know, if you can't identify what a food is, you're not creating your own medicines either, are you?
And when our lad was went to senior school, they done classes after school, didn't they? In the night time, you and them used to go, didn't you?
Yeah,
Cookery lessons.
they were great. We won an award one time when we were both cooking together, and we won biscuit cutters.
Yeah,
I've still got them in the cupboard. Yeah. What's Les saying? We all need to shop effectively. My luxury 4K bespoke handmade leather sofa cost me £12 at the local auction mart. Nobody wanted it. Unbelievable what people get rid of. It is, it's crazy.
Always look on the free sites.
One man's junk is another man's treasure. So that guy would have got, you know, an £8 suite.
We've got our suite from the free on the free site.
Well, this one we didn't. We didn't get this. You you helped
he
deliver.
He was selling it, but because I delivered, I helped.
One guy was getting a free suite off one of his friends who'd got one better, and he'd not long got this, and it's really next to new condition.
Yeah, he only had it a year.
Because Mr. Wallflowers drove him round in the van to collect the other suite. He gave us this in return. Instead of being able to pay for doing the job, he gave us the suite, plus he needed it removed from his home, so we benefited that way. But we haven't bought any large items for a long, long time, have we?
We've got our fridge. We bought an American fridge freezer, then we had a double fridge freezer. We got that off the second-hand site. That was
like Marketplace, something like that. For a fraction of the price. Yeah, but we've done that.
We only paid 100 for that, didn't we?
150.
And they were going for like 500 and 600 quid, weren't they?
Yeah, we've always done it. Always keep an eye on the free sites, you know, always, because I don't want junk. I just don't want to bring piles and piles of things into my home. But if there's something I can use or something I can replace with a better item, I'm going to do it if it's on a free site. We've
all got plenty of junk, guys. You always put it away because you'll need it one day.
The time you come to get rid of it is the time you'll need it. We've all done that. A week after you've had a clean out, you'll want that thing you've cleared out.
The only thing with that is when you do need it, you can't find it. Yeah, Gumtree is good.
I've not used Gumtree for years, Les. That's a good reminder. Yeah, couldn't be worth going back there and having a look. We haven't used that for a long, long time.
I mean, even Olio
is fabulous. Yeah. For items, you can borrow items on there. You can get free food. There's absolutely all kinds on it. Yeah, it's amazing.
The price of skips, we should already say.
That guy across the road who had a skip.
Yeah, he has a skip delivered and stays there for about 6 or 8 weeks. I don't know whether his family run the skips.
Yeah, absolutely full to the high heaven. And then they come and take that and leave them a new one again. There's no way they've paid for it. It's got to be a family member looking after them. I don't know where all the trash comes from. How do you fill one of them in 6 weeks if you've already done it?
Every 6 weeks.
Yeah. Crazy.
They've just moved out now.
Yeah. Skips do cost a fortune. I remember over 10 years ago looking for a small one, and it was about £400 for a small skip then.
Depends how long you have it for, doesn't it? I think you can get them for something like 100 and something a day or something.
Oh, I don't know.
But it still costs a fortune.
Everything's a fortune now, though. Nothing's cheap, is it?
Yeah, we were just saying that, Steve. We've started tomatoes, cabbages, lettuce, all inside seeds. We replanted some of the lettuce as well last week.
Yeah, started them again. We'll put them down, put the legginess down, and let the roots grow stronger. We've done the first session of that, and then we'll be looking at growing. Starting off more seeds this week, so I'll probably do a video on that this week and see what we get going this week.
See what we can do.
So we've not long to go now. We've got 4 weeks, say 5 weeks, and then we can start transplanting out to the outside. Last year we started cleaning the garden, getting ready, moving the dead leaves, moving everything, sorting the beds out. We started early last year and we unearthed a hedgehog. And that's something we didn't want to do this year. So we haven't even started the garden tidy yet. So possibly this week, maybe next week, we'll get more serious about the garden tidy, because the last thing I want to do is disturb hedgehogs or anything like that have come into the garden, because that's proven that
they enjoy the garden.
They enjoy the garden and everything's healthy within the environment. We've got frogs. We've got a frog pond. I've not checked yet if we've got any frog spawn yet, but I'm hoping we have, because I've heard a few croaks of an evening.
I think it's still a bit early, isn't it?
I know, but I've been hearing the cries. I've been hearing a few croaks of an evening, so that'll be the males looking for a partner. So I'm hoping the wildlife is going ahead okay, and I don't want to disturb that too much, because if you pull the dead peas down, I've still left dead pea stems up on the archway, etc. And the ladybirds breed there in the dead pea pods and the dead pea skeletal stems that are there. Last year I just didn't want to disturb it, because we need them ladybirds there to eat the aphids, eat everything else, and to just keep that wildlife going in the garden, which will then in turn help the vegetables. So don't disturb them too early.
We don't use a greenhouse, Stephen.
We did. We've had several greenhouses, but just each time we invest, which is a lot of money, it's like 350 quid and more, for a big polytunnel greenhouse. The polytunnels.
We had a polytunnel. We've had 2 polytunnels.
Each one's completely collapsed because of the weight of the snow and everything, and we just don't want to waste our money investing £350
the
or
weather
more just
always
for 12
takes
months. We got a second-hand greenhouse. We had it for approximately 8 or 9 years, didn't we? Really bad winds. Was that last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
Just took it out completely, and it was glass. The aluminium frame just completely snapped, and there was no way of repairing it.
But it was old, so we did get it second-hand.
I would like a greenhouse, and there's plenty going free, as I say, on the free sites. There has been for a couple of years, but it's the actual removal of it. If you break it down, the aluminium, the chances are of putting that back together securely again, not knowing what you're doing, not very good odds. When we got ours,
They're like wardrobes. Once you put them up and then you take them down, it's hard to put them back up again.
Yeah. But
you have to reinforce them. The
one we said we had 8 or 9 years, we had a friend who had a flatbed lorry. We actually had that delivered on the flatbed lorry, and then we had 6 guys lifted in.
No, it was the 3 lads in the wagon.
Oh yeah, and me.
And me and you. Yeah. We had to pick it up out the field, walk across the field, all across the bushes, then get it back to ours. Wouldn't fit through the gate, so we had to lift it over the fence.
Over the gate and the fences, yeah. 1, 2, 3, go! Yeah. So it's quite a fiasco, but if you've got people and you've got a flatbed lorry and you can move it, you're great. You know what I mean? But in a transit van, not so good. Or a car. The likelihood of it being sturdy again after dismantling one, the odds aren't that good, really. Jacinia. Hi, Jacinia. Welcome, love. Your first time.
Someone just put, I don't know who it was, what do we like about the channel? What do we mostly like about the channel?
What do we like about our channel? Were they asking us, or were they asking other people?
What do you like most about the channel?
I love the interaction.
The people that are here, that enjoy it.
The community and the honesty of the community, you know.
And we're all like-minded people.
Most of us are like-minded, and if we agree on one subject or we disagree on a couple of subjects, we don't have to row, we don't have to fall out, we don't have to be nasty and aggressive to each other. We can agree to disagree. Not everyone agrees with what we say, about our political stances, about vaccines, about voting politically, about the poisons in the water, about the rubbish that's going on. But you know what? We can be adults and we can say, well, what is it you actually disagree with? And what do you actually believe? And we can actually talk like humans about it. That's what we love. we just love adult debate and being able to communicate.
Too much division in the world as it is. And that's what
you
they're
get
trying
more
to create.
out of having a conversation with someone that you disagree with than just sticking to your own opinion and putting your head in the ground like an ostrich and just saying, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. None of us know the true facts about a lot of stuff. You know, we've got opinions. Everyone's got one. Like a bumhole. Everyone's got an opinion, you know, but you know, through true debate and by someone giving us playing devil's advocate or something like that, we get nearer to the truth than we do having a load of yes men around us. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Lady Suda.
As long as you agree with us in the end.
There'll be no problem. We're only joking.
Stephen's only going to be propagating about 3 acres.
Wow, that's a lot of land, yeah. I set up the local allotments a few years ago. Say a few years ago, probably about 10 years ago on church lands. It was only half an acre. We had about 40 plots, at least in half an acre. So yeah, 3 acres is some vast land to deal with. What you planning on doing with it, love? You having livestock or an orchard and your allotments and what else you gonna have? Because 3 acres is an awful lot of land. Yeah,
it's a lot to look after as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had the allotment, that was some work. Just trying to keep on top.
You too, Bridget. That made me giggle.
We are blessed as we have had so much access to information. Yeah, I think when the internet first come about, I think they thought it'd be to control a lot of people. I don't think they realised that people are going to have their own opinions and it's going to go haywire for them.
So you have to be careful though, because not all truthers are telling the truth. That's what I find. That's what I find. Yeah, well, not all protesters protest. Yeah, but not all truthers are telling the truth, and you're flooded with so much information. That's a political agenda as well. If you're flooded with so much information, you're left not knowing which way to turn, not knowing which way. You're hearing so much information, you're not giving yourself time to adjust and absorb that information and decide for yourself what your true belief, opinions and feelings are towards that information. If you keep absorbing and you watch the next video and you watch the next video and you're watching the fluffy cats and you're watching the next truth and you're watching this, you have to just watch a little bit, step back, evaluate it, take on board, reassess, work it out, decide what you think. If you're undecided but it's something you're still intrigued by, pursue that line of information. Don't just let everything wash over you and take everything in thinking everyone's telling the truth, because they're not.
We tend to go with what makes the most sense to us.
Well, we pursue certain lines of information, don't we? And we'll look at pros and cons and negatives of certain. We try to stick to topics, don't we? Like we're really interested in alternative history.
Thanks, guys. See you again soon, mate.
Take care, love. Have a good show if you're on tonight. I've mentioned before, you know, Kay Higgs used to be called Enlightened Turtle, and I love his work. I like a guy called Ralph Ellis. I've looked at guys Wilson and Blackett and Britain's Hidden History and things like this. Marchell, she's really good. And the different historic views of now, I don't wish to offend anyone who's religious or anything like that and believes different than my mindset. We're all open, and I'm just intrigued to follow different information and it's available to me and I'm enjoying it. And there's a concept that Jesus Christ was actually born in York in England, and all of this is Britain's secret ancient power. And then we've got
Wales,
different tangents of Gog and Magog and different things like that. And we just absolutely love it, don't we?
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe it. Or...
Yeah, so much rabbit holes you can go down, if you want to call it that, and so much information that's open to, like, I've just come across a guy called Commons Beaumont. People may be familiar with his work, and I'm just literally just finding out what his concepts are about the comets hitting the earth and different things like that. See, I don't necessarily believe the blue beam stuff that's about to happen, about the aliens coming to earth and different things like that. I actually believe aliens are just another form of life, and that's what alien is, just something strange to us that we don't understand.
Our realm.
But extraterrestrial means just extra land. Extra is extra, terrestrial means land, so it's extra land. So if you bear with me, if Earth is one indentation in an egg box, I believe there could be so many more, but we're all actually on the same realm. We're only told about the Earth part, but there's all these other parts as well. So there could be 6 different planets, planes in this one egg box concept, or there could be many, 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 many more.
I mean, a lot of the really ancient Chinese maps had extra land beyond Antarctica, but you can't go to Antarctica to go and explore what's on the other side of it.
But it doesn't even have to be there. How can you believe the map is true? There could be stuff beyond any other country. There's supposed to be gateways in is it Chicago and different places like this, gateways to other realms.
One was in like Argentina, and one was up north a bit, like Greenland a bit, wasn't it?
There's so many different concepts out there, but they're all intriguing, and they're all a different rabbit hole that can bend your mind to wherever,
You've never heard of Blue Beam?
Who's saying that?
Abigail.
So Blue Beam Abigail is the next thing that's meant to be coming into play. So we've got the balloons, haven't we, that are being shot down over the oceans and different things, and people are saying they're seeing shapes in the clouds and different things. So the next operation that the government is supposed to be imposing upon us is called Blue Beam, and that's the aliens visiting us on planet Earth. Many people choose to believe this, and they're entitled to. Nobody knows who's right and wrong. We've just got our own beliefs and our own concepts. But yeah.
Energy portals and Earth energy is fascinating. I mean, there is energy. There is magnetic and electricity in the air.
All of it. And, Tesla didn't discover it. Tesla rediscovered information, and he blatantly said it himself as well. He'd rediscovered information. He didn't invent it. He didn't discover it. He was reenacting the information that he'd found.
But if the aliens do land, as soon as they get out the spaceship, make a run to the spaceship and get in it and get away from this place.
Get out of here.
Leave them here.
It's your only chance.
But yeah, I was surprised how unproportional the world map is. Yeah, I mean, Africa is supposed to be a lot bigger than what it shows on the map as well.
And people say about the energy, the old houses are, 8 chimney pots and more chimney pots and all the spires, all the and churches, the gold around it, and etc.
The copper.
Oil paintings above what was meant to be a fire.
It's supposed to be lightning conductors, but every building has like 5 or 6 on one little tire.
If you've not come across this information, we're probably skipping too fast to make any sense here. But if it's some information you are familiar with, you're probably getting onto glints of information.
Some of them holograms are
if you're interested,
scary,
just
what
ask
they
a
can
question and we'll try to answer best we can.
Yeah, we've watched Tyrant Finder. We used to watch him a lot.
He's the guy who cycles around London, mainly, isn't he?
Yeah.
The other guy used to be good. What was his name? The Polish guy. Is he Polish? Eastern European guy with the cleft.
Oh, yeah. He was on Facebook, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Radislav.
Yeah. I'm not seeing him for a long, long time.
That's it. It was ancient power. A lot of electricity was there before in the ancient times.
Completely. You know, they obviously had lights. They obviously had electricity sources. Like what I was going back to about the fire there. So they had old stone fireplaces with the coal pokers and stuff like that. You see those rustic ornaments where they could poke the coal in the fire. Some were brass, some were black. And then they'd have it balanced out with another set on the other side. Right above the fire, they'd have really expensive oil paintings for those periods. You know, they would have cost a lot of money for an artist to paint or for them to buy that from someone else. Yet they have that above a blazing fire, which would blacken in no time. Yet they're there, absolutely beautiful. You know, no pictures of the fire actually being on. You know, it doesn't make sense. Why would you have an oil painting over the fire? So that wasn't the heat source. So what was the heat source? What was generating it? So was the brass playing off the back plate of the brass and the conductor? And was that somehow generating within itself the heat source? You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Not off the top of my head, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is asking, she said, you're raising interesting things. Do you have reference to
We'll try and post
articles?
a few things in the community. We'll try and post a few links and stuff.
It's hard, really, because this is the Saturday night free chat, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we'll do it like in a couple of days or something. We'll go through, see what we can come up with.
There's lots of different information and lots of different people to watch. What the Flock is quite interesting. He's got a channel and he talks about Janos and gates to different entities and periods in time. As I say, Kay Higgs, he's really good to follow, and he talks about, at the moment, he's talking about travel and all the different Canaanites and different tribes of communities, whether they've come from Britain to other countries, and is Jerusalem in Britain, or was it originally in Britain and then
it was wiped out?
They've now said it's in Egypt. There's so many different. Commons Beaumont would be one to start with. Kay Higgs, What the Flock, Britain's Hidden History. There's a number of different people.
As well.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. Martin Leakey is okay, and I followed him for a number of years. It's good information. The artwork he shows is absolutely fabulous. Very long streams.
In terms of depopulation and Bluebeam, do you think the powers that be will roll out these projects? Well, they're not spending all this money on it for nothing, are they? They're about.
Well, depopulation's already in play. Well, how many trains have we had go off now in America, different states?
Oh, even Greece.
How many people took that and have gone? How many wars have we had? You know, depopulation has been going on for quite a while now. And if they do step it up and you have to send your sons and daughters to the Ukraine and they're going to die on the battlefield, how many are supposed to be coming back? Because that's the new statement now, isn't it?
What did the Americans think of that? The American people, what did you think of Zelensky's statement the other day when he said your sons and daughters will be coming to Ukraine to die on the battlefield?
Horrific. What a statement to make. The warriors.
While he's sitting in his, wherever he is, with his white powder and his billions behind him.
So Mega Chelsea is saying, I agree, depopulation is defo going on. I just don't understand why they're forging ahead with the things, because we all predicted they would do this.
Well, they tell us, they as they say, it's in
It's the New World Order, it's the agenda. Klaus Schwab and Larry Finkel and all the others that are in charge. And, you know, they've got that much money that these bloody progressive games.
It's just a game.
It's just a game. You know, we're mere cattle to them. It's just a game. You know, this is all farmland to them, and we're cows and sheep to them.
In that picture where the elites are all playing chess and all the people are keeping the chessboard up, and one says, if we only stood up, their game would be over.
That's it. It's true. We've all got it. You know, somebody said, I think it was Richard Forbes. I think when I watched his video today, I think it was yesterday's video, you know, it's all right saying come together en masse and all do it together, but then you get labelled a political group or whatever. We've all literally got to stand in our own right, and we've got to say no to each thing that personally affects us. You know, you've got to say, I'm not paying that price.
If each person stands up on their own,
I'm not signing that piece of paper. I'm not voting for that master. I'm not doing this. I'm not having that injection. I'm not playing the game. If each of us do it in our own right and don't expect to stand in a crowd, in a gang, in whatever, if you can just stand in your own right, and many, many, many of us stand in our own right, and say, I'm not doing it. We're all doing it en masse then, but we're doing it individually.
The problem with joining like a group and stuff, that you think, oh, this is a group, and you go along in a group, it always gets infiltrated and took over. And as Mother Wolf said before, it's controlled opposition.
It is controlled opposition. You just guided sheep. Turn round, cross the road, up here, down there. Well,
let's all go and smash windows over here. Let's go and...
No, it's ridiculous.
Just do your own thing.
You've seen controlled opposition for many, many years.
Times.
Yeah. You've got, you know, the Antifa turning around now saying people opposing certain things. They're on the police side.
15-minute city demonstration last week, and Antifa turned up calling everyone Nazis for demonstrating against it.
How's that meant to make sense?
How infiltrated are they?
Completely. Well, we've seen it many, many times. We've seen it on the front side.
Everybody should be anti-fascist.
Well, that's just natural human behaviour. What, you know.
You don't need a group to go around with masks on saying we're Antifa.
Well, the we're only Antifa for so long. Then they were Antifa, weren't they? Antifa. Honestly, I think it's not our war.
It's not our war.
It's a made-up war. It's consciously done to steer us down a certain route, to milk the money out of all of our countries, to send more billions of money. And now let's send our sons and daughters.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it's been going on since the Second World War, Ukraine. But from what I've read up on, it's only been the last 20 years. But it goes back to the Second World War when it was created.
It's always been divide and conquer, yeah. That's been the biggest tactic, I get that, yeah. That's why I say you've just got to come to the point now to say agree to disagree and try and learn. If there is a middle ground, even though you've still got your own solid opinion and you probably won't change their opinion, is there a middle ground that we can change other things in the world at the same time rather than just pure destruction?
That's it. The more self-sufficient you can be, the better you're going to be in the long run.
The less dependent you are, yeah. I mean, to some degree, we're all dependent. You know, you can't kidda. To some degree, we're all dependent, whether it be your mortgage, whether it be the home over your head, to whatever. But each little thing that you can become more self-sufficient on keeps you in a better position. Keeps more money in your pocket to pay for that.
The first and probably the best thing you can do is do not watch the news on the mainstream media or buy the papers, read the papers. Just cut it out altogether. You don't need to know what they're giving you fear about.
That's true, Mother Wolf. It's like a hostage situation, isn't it? That brainwash to believe it so much that they'll fight to protect it. Yeah.
What's that called when you fall in love with the hostage?
I tried to think of that then. I couldn't think what the word was. It wouldn't come to me. I do know what you mean, though. I'm really not understanding how Ukraine is not winning this war, given our president has given them equipment, ammunition, millions of dollars. Why should our young people go over this?
Ukraine are never going to win this
Britain
war.
has done exactly the same, Yvette. We've sent them over. That's it, yeah. We've sent them over machinery, airplanes.
They've had billions and billions of every country in the world.
Yeah.
And
just milking the world and taking it all in because
and he's still asking for
more.
It's
a project. Yeah, it's
Ukraine have got no chance of winning this war, and that's why he's trying to drag NATO in and bring it to a third world war.
Stockholm syndrome. I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
So either Russia are going to take Ukraine and it'll be back into the Russian system, or we're going to get involved and it's going to be a third world war, and who knows where that's going to lead.
Well, it's already a third world war, isn't it? It's just where,
we're at stage 1 of it, aren't we?
We're in it. It has begun.
It's not just crazy Putin, Stephen. There's other crazy leaders. Putin.
See, on one half you can say, well, it's not Putin and it's all directed against Putin. But at the same time, there's many, many pictures of Putin and Schwab shaking hands, as well as every other political leader. It's all part of the game.
It's all by design.
Yeah, it's all part of the game. They're all there shaking hands with Klaus Schwab.
Biden was in Ukraine for years. Hunter Biden's been in Ukraine for years.
All the science labs are there.
They're all making money. One of the most corrupt countries in the world at the time. And Putin was warning them. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And the West just didn't want to know.
But it's like Rishi has declared war now, though, hasn't he? This week, he's in the public domain. He's declared.
Well, he's been told to declare war.
Yeah.
But yet they can send these billions to Ukraine, but they can't feed people in their own countries.
Pay for cancer treatments and pay for this operation, pay for that, and sort this out. Yeah.
This week. Our energy prices, our energy companies have announced that they're putting down the cap to the energy from 4,000 something to 3,000 something. But because the government is cutting the subsidy to us, our energy bills are going to go up now. So because the government are pulling the £66 what they're giving us a month, and the energy companies are putting their top line down, we're still going to be paying more. But yet the government have announced this week that they're going to be looking at keeping the £66 going for the next 3 months. It was supposed to finish this month, is the last one. So they're on about April, May and June that they're going to supply us with the £66. So that's like £198, is it, for them 3 months? But yet the energy companies have put it up £500. So we're still down £300. It's still going to cost us £300 more.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just a play on words, a play on numbers. It's just a con, isn't it? And there was an interesting clip called Dinner with Andre, conspiracy theory, really interesting. We're building our own concentration camps. Yeah,
And
we've been
doing
saying
it
that for years.
FEMA
yeah.
camps, and they've been going on for years. Do you see a lot of fear of lack in the prepping community?
What's that?
Do you see a lot of fear of lack in the prepping community?
What's
I
that
don't let
mean?
the fear into my energy field. Yeah, we won't. We just won't watch the news. We won't read the papers. We're not interested. The only time we find out news is through like social media or.
And then we will go and research it then.
But you can see it. You see it from a mile. The times when we have watched the news, we'll sit there and say, "How can they say that? How can they say that? What are they saying that for?" It's just. And even in them emails from Matt Hancock this week, and some of them he's saying, we won't release it to the press, we won't say this. Then he's on the phone to the press saying, you say this, you say that, put us in a good light. And the press are going, yeah, okay, we'll do that. And it's all done by design.
You don't know what's true. They're just helping each other achieve targets. So they're saying, well, I've got this to blackmail you with what you did while you were at Eton, while you were at college or whatever. So if you don't do that for me, if you don't get this press coverage for me, I'll expose you. So I've got all through that. Matt was saying he had targets to achieve. So he needed Gordon Brown to get him the press coverage.
Not Gordon Brown, it was...
Gordon Brown was in a position to get him press coverage, was he? Who was it?
Oh, I can't remember. The mayor.
Well, somebody was in a position to reach out to get him
standard
press coverage to make sure that his story got out so he could achieve his targets. And they didn't really want to. And they had to pull back favours for him. And it's all a blackmail scenario between themselves. Not that the job needs doing, not this is the political position we're in. And in order to help there's a deadly disease and we need to sort our people out.
When they come out and made that statement.
It was all laughable. It was all jokes. It was all about targets.
George Osborne.
Money. Yeah. George Osborne, that's
yeah, when he come out and he made the statement to the nation and he said, we've hit our target. We've done 100,000 tests now. We want to do that a day or a week or whatever it was. We're doing 100,000 tests, and in reality, they'd only done 20,000 tests. But one of his advisors said, "But we've sent the tests out, so we can say because we've sent the tests out, we can count that as the 100,000."
But they didn't have enough backstock anyway to be able to do that.
And the laboratories didn't have enough testing space to do that. So he said, "Well, just tell them that we've hit the 100,000 target because we've sent them out in the post. Whether they've arrived at people's doors or not is irrelevant. Yeah. But we've hit our target." And George Osborne said, "Yeah, we'll go along with that. We'll do that."
There's more of us than there is of them. That's what we know.
But then people will pick up that paper the next day.
Theirs might be a big club that we're not in, but we're in a bigger club of our own. More of us than there is of them. Our club's bigger.
The Tufty Club.
What? That was it, wasn't it? The squiddle. Yeah, exactly. They didn't have that energy a year ago. Now it's costing us a bloody fortune.
That energy is there. They've already created that energy.
Well, Shelley says news is very contradicting one story to the next. Well,
it's done for the reason.
That's by design as well, to keep you never knowing.
Just don't watch the news and you won't get confused.
You can't. People have got their own choice. If they want to watch it, we choose not to.
Okay, go and watch the
news. Yes, this household no longer watches the mainstream media either. That's right, Stephen.
It's like things were 34 years ago in the haemophilia community. Well, that was another thing, wasn't it? All the blood samples that were infected with HIV, and they give them out to people, and they knew what was coming, didn't they? that was all contrived, the HIV and the AIDS.
It's how they spread certain things when they want it to be out there, to be traceable. And so conveniently, they're the ones that discover it. Because they know where they've put it. They know who's had those injections.
We'll have to get our bicycles out and cycle to watch TV. Yeah.
To watch the internet. I think we're more likely to do it for the internet than the TV.
I know, I think if they knew what the internet would do for everyone, I don't think they'd let us have it.
I know, but that's where it's a 2-stage plan, though. You know, the over-bombardment is a big part of why they've let us have it.
Yeah, I think now they realise
Because that's
they've
the
got
division.
to do that now.
Yeah. But it's how far this technology goes, isn't it? It's what they haven't given us yet.
And how long it's going to last.
Now, we were discussing last time on, what was that website called?
Which one?
The circle one with all the...
Oh, the world... What was it? The world government... World security.
So it was all the high-tech, like, such as the internet, the new inventions of...
the world security...
And, you know, the androids.
World Security Summit or something.
Yeah, the World Security Summit.org, something like that. And how there will no longer have to be drones to deliver items or drivers, and how things will just materialise. What was it called? Teleportation.
Yeah, sort of like Star Trek.
You know, we've already got these robot dogs, aren't we, that can be the soldiers and different things. So rather than the soldiers needed in the humanoid form,
well, China put that video
they'll
out,
have
didn't
these robot dogs now, won't they? Well,
China
we've been seeing them for a number of years.
I mean, they had them in New York, didn't they? Patrolling the streets of New York and LA. Robot dogs.
That was about 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't it?
China released that video where there was about 500 little robot dogs, and they were all doing the same thing, sitting down, standing up, moving side to side. You only need a couple of guns on the side of them, and that's your army.
That's it.
That's it. Musk's another one.
See, there's so many people that idolise him now, though, even on the truth circuit.
I know,
you know, it's crazy, isn't it?
But that happened with Trump as well, didn't it? Trump turned it round. Trump's an elite, and yet suddenly he's a truther.
If you choose to believe that. Still so many do, though, don't they?
Yeah.
What's factor treatments, Bridget? Bridget's saying I got hepatitis B from factor treatments. I don't know what factor treatments are.
Yeah, I was thinking of Max Factor.
Thank you, Valerie.
It's driverless lorries and driverless cars and driverless trains.
Well, didn't one crash last week?
Yeah, they're always crashing, aren't they? Yeah, it's going to happen until...
Oh, that's it, Abigail. We don't know. Abigail said the world's gone nuts and we are the same people, or vice versa. Well, everyone says we're the nutters, but I don't think we are. I think we actually are the same people. I think we're the chosen ones, to tell you the truth.
Even if we are the nutters, it's better to be a nutter.
Salt water spray will sort those metal Mickey dogs. In a world of Kardashians, be Sarah Connor. Who's Sarah Connor? I don't know who Sarah Connor is, Mother Wolf, sorry.
You're showing your age, Stephen. Metal Mickey.
I remember it was a TV programme, but I never watched it.
Yeah, in the 80s, wasn't it?
Oh, she was in the Terminator. Everyone's saying Terminator. I didn't know. Sorry. I don't think I've ever watched that one, have you?
I've watched it once, I think. Is that the one where he's in the woods and he's like camouflaged? And that's it.
Apparently, I was one of the lucky ones not to get HIV from my treatments for haemophilia. I inject factor 9 so my blood can clot. I have a form of haemophilia. Oh, right, okay. And you think you got the hepatitis through that? So you wouldn't be surprised, and that's exactly how I perceive it done.
Oh yeah, predator.
I'm glad you didn't get the HIV though, Bridget. Bloody hell.
That's it. That's how easy it is to just poison people, isn't it?
That's it. In anything. I mean,
blood transfusion.
What were they saying about Gates's injection and stuff? They were saying, they were going to put it in the beef, in the animals. So therefore,
in the vegetables.
In the lettuce was suggested first, wasn't it? Then in
the
all the vegetables, then in the beef, in the cattle.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, going out the way to get to poison us. What this depopulation concept, one way or the other. Food products are nasty anyway, and they're going to get us because of the cancerous side of it, and the cancer burgers and the crap of the food products that's not real food that they're training us to eat because that's cheaper to buy. Then if we do pay out for the meat and the beef and the steak, it's going to be injected with the mRNA. Do you know what I mean?
We're just bombarded with it. And Kerry, Metal Mickey was funny. I bet you it's not funny if you watch it back now. It was funny when you were like 12. I got hepatitis 20 years ago through blood transfusion. That's it. That's how easy it is. And that's how easy it was with the vaccine. I mean, Gates got run out of Africa, didn't he? In one country in Africa.
The pregnancy thing.
He done it with the milk, wasn't it? And then he done it with a vaccine. They all rose up. Was it Sudan or somewhere like that? And they all rose up and ran him out of it. They wouldn't take it then.
What was that he was giving them? Was it the Ebola stuff?
Yeah, I think it might have been the Ebola stuff. But they all rose up and said no.
Because in actual fact, he wasn't giving them something to help against it. He was actually giving them whatever the thing was. Yeah.
But that's it. Any vaccine has got that.
And he was making them so they couldn't get pregnant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they couldn't reproduce. I can't think what that word is.
Control.
Yeah. There's a word, infertile.
Yeah.
He was giving them an injection that made them infertile so they couldn't reproduce to bring their population down, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been polio. It was something like that. But they got run out of Africa. Yeah, Wurzel Gummidge was good. Pretty.
Crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Tetanus, smallpox in India and Africa. But
you still with us, Frank, or have you gone, love?
Even like the monkeypox that come along and went away.
Well, that was like a flash in the pan. It was like a quick threat, and we didn't fall
because
for
it didn't take off.
Oh, Valerie, thank you so much,
Valerie.
love. Thank you for your channel. I hit and miss on the live streams. I'm starting to prepare for gardening soon. Hopefully, if our weather ever settles down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Blessings, love.
Oh, Bridget, now you're talking.
Buy more cannon jars with that, love. Thank you so much. Mork and Mindy too. Yeah.
Nanu.
Shazbat. It was for malaria and AIDS and Ebola. Yeah, that's what I think, Abigail. That's where I was steering. I guess my biggest concern about all this BS is that when people get hungry, people do. Well,
that's what we said before. You control the food, you control the people, don't you?
Yeah. There was one part. Now I think it was Africa. Too sure. That people had so little food, they were actually making clay cakes, like a biscuit, but quite a big, large one, and they were actually eating them to sustain themselves, and actually were so hoodwinked by it that they believed they actually enjoyed it, and they believed that it was sustainable food, Crazy. divide and conquer. It's always divide and conquer. Yeah, completely. You know, whether it's religion, Catholic, Protestant, football teams against football teams, black against white. What was it? The Indians and the Africans, man against woman, you know, blonde hair, brunette, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, right line, blue eyes, brown eyes, everything and anything is divide and conquer if you let them. Men against women. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, I don't mind any woman, and I did it myself, you know what I mean, who wants to go out the home to work, and all power to them if they need to pay the bills or they just need that break from the house, etc. You know, working is just as much hard work, but if a woman wants to stay home and provide for her children, she's doing a hard enough job and she'll be paid for that. Oh, that's great. JW12, learning to grow food, not much space, doing it in pots. No, that's fabulous. And even if you don't have a garden, if you've got a patio or whatever, just space outside your front door, whatever it is, go for it. Yeah. You can grow spuds, you can go grow carrots, you can grow all number of things in a pot. People in the developing world need clean water, proper sanitation, food, and basic medication. It's true. And there's a reason why it's not provided, because the government are milking the money for it and depopulating the people. Yeah. Keeping them too bunged up on farming the drugs and shipping that out and keeping everyone else. It's crazy. People in the... Have you noticed by any chance how your countrymen are feeling? Are they scared about the cost of everything going up? It's 6 of one and a half a dozen of the other. You know, many people are, but many people are living in a deluded state.
It's starting to hit
some
them
have got
now,
the mindset like us, like-minded, where we know there's been a plan for many, many years, and some are minded like us and know what the score is. But some don't believe it, and they believe it's just a short-lived thing and things will get better. So many will be living off the credit cards, many will be spending the savings to subsidise the standard of living. Many will...
in 6 months,
they think it'll be okay, you know, and the job's not going anywhere and everything will be fine in the future. So there'd be... I mean, this is worldwide. There'd be a lot of people just totally deluded, you know, don't understand it's a long-term thing, don't understand it's a reset, you know. Yeah.
They planned this for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time for it to come into across the board. This is...
The Georgia Guidestones, Shelley, were totally weird, you know. Do you remember reading the statements on it? What was it? 500 million was the ideal goal that had been left of us. And besides the Georgia Guidestones, there's other charts to say what the population of each country would be each year.
Well, they said it was just a guide after an explosion, or if it was wiped out. This is just a guide of...
And each country's populace was going down by 10, 20 million and etc., you know. So the population, I can't think what the exact numbers were, but say, for instance, the population of the UK was only 25,000. By the time, you know, 5 years had passed, it was down to 10,000 people. You know, that's just an example of 15,000. Obviously, the figures are in the millions, but that's what it comes down to. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, unless we were actually working for the community, there was nothing in doing something just for your family or just for yourself or whatever. Them George Guidestones were strange. You do know that they were knocked down now and they're gone.
They were blew up. Well, one was, and I think they pulled the rest down now. It done its job. It served its purpose. And we were talking about that today, Bridget, about siphoning money from your bank, taking your money out and keeping it. But
then it's having money in your home and whatever, and it's not just thinking, it's not, you know.
But you'd have to keep a certain amount in your bank because your direct debits are coming out and your bills are coming out.
And what would you do with it? You know, back to stuff and mattresses and people burgling homes because they know people have got money in the mattresses. It's crazy. And would you sleep at night if you had money in your house, you know?
But if the banks do collapse and everything does collapse, you're not going to be able to spend your cash anyway because there's going to be no shops open.
Yeah, well, it's you trade then, and whether we can still use cash for trade. When you try to tell the truth, many will fight to remain in the old paradigm completely, you know, and they'll fight you because they believe their truth is more important than our truth.
Thanks, Lady Suda.
Hear about that stuff here.
Great to see you.
If we do, it will be a blurb. It's just a discussion, you know, Stephen, but this is free time for us, and we like to be able to share free thought here, and yeah. I don't blame you, BCTV. My bank asks too many questions why I take mine out.
That's because it's not real money in their eyes.
There's restriction on how much you can take out from the bank. Yeah, it's about £200 to £300 a day, is it?
It's figures on a computer. It's not real money. So when you go in and that's
night,
the real
Lady
money.
Suda. Thanks for being with us, love. Maintain humanity in perpetual balance with nature with 500 million. Georgia Gadsons, yeah, that was it, 500 million. Now, how many are actually on the planet at the moment, Stephen?
But if everyone went to the bank and took all the cash out, that caused the collapse of the banks.
Well, that's it.
I mean, you've seen it with Northern Rock. When Northern Rock was going under and everyone took the money out.
Yeah.
It just collapsed then. That's it. Currency isn't real. It's just figures on a computer what they can just make up and type in. And
it's so difficult though because we need to keep actual cash. We need to have the availability.
If everything's closed, what are you going to spend your cash on? Cash is worthless, isn't it? If you can't spend it in a shop or...
I know we need to fight to keep it available in the shops.
It's only like minerals, gold, silver.
Paper fiat currency isn't real money, only gold and silver. They are God's money.
Well, we have gone all conspiracy there tonight. We didn't think we would.
Yeah, thought we were having a quiet night. My money is on my purse and just keep enough for what has to get paid. That's right. So there's 7.8 billion now. So deduct 5 million. How many is that they've got to eradicate? What's 7.8 billion?
500 million.
500 million, yeah. So take 500 million off 7.8 billion. How many of us have they got to kill?
Well, it's...
Eradicate, you would say. Is that a nicer word?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. I mean, 0.8 billion is more than 500 million. So it's at least 7 billion.
I mean, we haven't had a world war for nearly 100 years now.
Oh, well, send your sons and daughters to Ukraine then. Credit card companies now print everything you bought on your statements, not just the merchant and amount. And some credit card companies are keeping tabs on those that purchase guns and ammo. Well, they will do because this is the...
well, that happened to us the other week,
identity thing.
We bought the canner off Amazon, paid it on the card, and they blocked it, didn't they? The bank blocked it.
Oh, yeah, they said they weren't going to allow it, and we had to overrun it, didn't we?
We had to phone up and put a code in. And...
It's a lot, Jane, it is, yeah. It's at least 7 billion and more, isn't it? 7 billion of us have got to disappear to attain that.
93%.
How many banks in the past not giving out people's money? It's true. Soylent Green or more nowadays. Completely, Anne. Completely. Well, there's nothing new under the sun, Les. So, you know, if it's happened before, it'll happen again. Yet another reset. What'll happen this time? A comet, a fire, a flood? Or will it just be digitalisation and our government kills us?
Oh, that's out of order, that Bridget. You can't be saying things like that.
What she said. Have you heard that the new bank notes for the UK is tripling as far as she's a case, isn't she?
Just so they can fit his ears in there. I've worked at money laundering cases. The point of deposit was the issue, but now banks are questioning small withdrawals.
Exactly. You know, they'll question a few hundred here and there, but ignore the millions being laundered.
Yeah. Governments are laundering money all over the place.
And the billions sent to Ukraine or sent anywhere else, or the insurance policies that need to be paid out when it's jobs for the boys collecting it.
Cashing in the dividends, and the bankers who are getting the bonuses. And
those on garden and leave permanently are getting triple the wage that they should have received in the first place if they were actually doing the job. It's just hypocrisy at its highest, isn't it?
Well, when they do that, Kerry, if they stop you buying your wine, make it own. It's free. It's free. You don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
Make your own.
Elderberry wine, elderflower wine.
Champagne.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to make champagne in the summer. Lovely stuff.
You're making it again this year?
Yeah. It's only made from fruit. Fruit grows on trees. It's free.
Fruit, yeast, sugar, water,
and time.
But it does it itself. You literally just got to cover it up and wait. It's not taking your time. You've just got to wait.
It takes time to brew. Yeah. But once it's done, endless supply.
I was lucky.
I said he's got an urban farm and he sells.
I started the urban farm for years before the pandemic. I was able to help 6 families throughout the pandemic. We have ample food and seeds. I wish you all the best. Thanks, love.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll be
doing a good job. That's what it's about. We'll just have to look after ourselves and the people around us in the future by either all growing different things, by trading different things. And
just teaching other people what they can do.
It's back to the dark ages.
We can dehydrate with no electricity in the sun, hopefully, if the sun's hot enough to shine down under glass and different things. There are methods and there are ways that have been done in the past that we can remember and rekindle and we can survive with.
As long as you know what you're doing and you're having a go.
We won't starve, will we?
No.
By hook or by crook.
They won't get us down.
And what's been some good news in the world this week? Anyone got anything nice to share? Any good stuff? Going for a quick cig outside. Cheers, wallflowers, and back in 5. Enjoy, Steve.
You can't even grow weed.
I'm sure you could, love. You'd have to try and get some raised beds, Bridget. You know, if they're raised up enough, you'd have no problem getting in and out of them. If you can make a cup of coffee, you can grow veg and raise beds, love, I'm telling you.
My attempts at making wine have all been failed, but I grape vinegar.
Lovely. What types of vinegar do you make, Les?
Isn't it vinegar and then wine? Or is it wine?
No, you get the alcohol before the wine. So if you're making apple cider vinegar, you get the cider before the wine, and then you ferment it longer, it becomes the cider. Brilliant. We haven't had much sun today, have we? What was it like for you?
No, it's been cloudy.
Yeah.
But it's been mild, it hasn't been cold.
You're a case, love.
Keep it. You'll make it one day.
fermentation.
Fermentation,
Yeah. That's what I want to look into, more of the fermentation and different bits. I've made apple cider vinegar, and I've made some sauerkraut, but that's as far as I've got with that.
Sauerkraut's lovely.
The grow it yourself movement is well established in Ireland. Seed and young plant swaps, etc.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
it's just swap them.
Well, I tried to set one up on Facebook quite a few years ago, but people weren't interested that much then, were they? Where are you, Abigail? You're over here, love. Yeah, so we'll get out and about there this week then and tidy up, get them beds organised.
The Arctic blast.
Depends whether the Arctic blast or the rain bother us, but if they don't.
Oh, Abigail's in Scotland.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, it's going to be cold for you there, love.
I think it is the wine gone wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just finished a 70 by 105 inch bedspread top made out of sheets from flat sheets from the thrift store. Now need to make sure it's good enough.
Rectangle.
So what do you mean you made it?
Just put it all together, sewed it all together to make a big bedspread.
Oh, right. In all different patterns and colours, is it, Mary? Made from sheets, from flat sheets. Very nice.
That's it.
Very nice.
As long as you can sew, crochet, knit.
That's it. Well, we can't do any of that. we can hand sew, but it's not the best, but we can do it. Yeah. I'm not the neatest of sewers. Sounds lovely, Mary. Very nice. And now Frugal Queen of France has been doing a project. People are doing the same thing with her, and she's been showing the photographs up on, I think it's her Facebook page, but she's been showing the projects on her YouTube channel as well. I sew, knit, garden and cook. Very good, Abigail. I garden, cook.
I mean, we sew. We can't sew.
Preserve.
We don't knit or anything.
It's very rarely we sew. Since fixing the boys' clothes a few times, school uniforms and stuff, I can't remember the last time I actually sewed anything.
No. I mean, you got that iron stuff now. Just iron.
Yeah, the iron
the
bond,
iron glue.
The bond, yeah. It was always hemming the trousers. That was the issue, wasn't it? Getting them to fit.
Yeah, they're trying to digitalise our money. When I sell my produce, I only do with cash. Yeah. So we all need to just keep the cash going.
Thrift store blankets are a good alternative to quick pattern too. Yeah.
The only thing with hand sewing is threading the needle now.
Oh, you want to borrow my glasses?
We can be there for like half an hour. You can see like 3 needles in the holes. You always go for the wrong hole.
I'm sure they went smaller.
Yeah.
Because didn't the eye used to be much bigger? You just go like that straight away. Sewing is something I learned in home economics class way back when I was 12 or 13. I was so shocked to learn years later they took home economics away from schools. A shame kids could learn from now. It's crazy to think they're not teaching basic skills. Absolutely crazy. Love it. Put out a video on making that champagne. I make my own hard liquor and wines. We've already got
a video from a couple of years ago. If you look
through the backlog of making the champagne, but
we'll do an updated version and do it again.
Many libraries here in the US have seed libraries where you can take some and leave some. That's a fabulous idea. Hampden Public Library.
Swap magnifying glasses.
Mm.
But
But how are you going to hold it? Because you've got the
I know,
needle in
yeah.
one hand, the
Need
cotton in
three
the other
hands.
hand.
But the good thing now, you can buy needles that are already threaded with the cotton on.
I know you'd have to buy one every time you did it.
No, but they do like a set of like 10. And you have like...
Disposable world, Brian.
It's great.
Us
When you're
grandmothers
getting
can
old.
teach the young ones who are so badly needed. It's true, Kathy.
Young ones haven't got a clue. These young ones now have just...
Lost if they haven't got a microwave.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to survive in the coming years.
If they haven't got a microwave, they'd have to
It's
just
not
eat
in the
everything
packet.
cold.
Mm.
Half of them don't know, and to clean a pan.
Yeah.
We know ourselves, sometimes things cake on if you don't soak it. So we know how to use wire wool and how to do different things for a pan, a stainless steel pan. I know, but once you're used to it, you have a specific routine. Some things you'll wash with a cloth, some things you'll wash with the brush, some things you'll use your wire pad for, different things. If it doesn't come off, they're throwing it in the bin.
I mean, our lads, we used to say, go and do the dishes. Our lads would fill the bowl up with cold water and then sit there with a brush, like brushing it across the plate, like, and then putting it, it'd be like food all over it, and you go, look at the state of it. You go, I've just washed that. Let's see if they can't do it on the phone or there's not an app for it. I wish we were all neighbours.
I've been looking out for the daffodils coming up, Stephen, and literally I've got my buds now. I've got crocuses out, and some of the buds are now on the daffodils, and they should be out in the next day or two. But I haven't seen one snowdrop, and I said this last week.
I've seen a few the other day on the roundabout in Manchester.
I haven't even seen one this year yet. My neighbour borrows my sewing skills often for her kids' blazers. Boys are tough on their kit, yeah.
I have one on eBay auction of Fisher Price.
Fabulous, well done, Shelley.
And that's a good thing. How to hunt and trap and survival
They're
skills.
valid skills, absolutely. What would you do? The tumble dryer is now a cupboard and the microwave is a bread bin. Oh, my microwave went a long, long time ago. So did the tumble dryer. We had a tumble dryer. We had one years ago. We've lived here 19 years and never had one whilst we're here. The microwave must have gone.
No, about 8 years ago.
About 8 years ago, yeah.
They've got garlic sticking up out the snow in Indiana.
Lovely. Well, the garlic needs to be through the frozen period to actually
strengthen the bulbs.
Well, it breaks them inside, and that's what forms the cloves. It sets it. Or you can buy a separate threader for needles and sewing. What's fritalias? Fritters? I don't know what they are, Abigail. Right, it's just too cold up here yet to get outside. Yeah. 50-year-old.
Get your coats on.
Oh.
$50 toy bundle. Yeah, that'd be good. Well, our old toys.
That's absolutely spot on, Kerry. Kerry's saying it's weird how the world's gone backwards. We seem to have the worst of both worlds. Too much tech on the one hand, and then scrabbling around for basics on the other. Yeah, the laptop, everything at our fingertips tech-wise. Yeah, people don't know how to cook. People don't know how to preserve, to grow, to
food,
mend the clothes, to create clothing, to live. Yeah. I have a mini oven and an air dryer. That's what I mainly cook with.
Air fryer, not an air dryer.
I said an air fryer.
The hairdryer.
No, I never.
You can cook with an hairdryer. They were the early microwaves. You warm your pie up with a hairdryer. Thanks for
Good
coming,
night,
Valerie.
Valerie. Thank you
Night.
so much, love. Thank you. Stuck on food on a pan, water and washing up liquid, pop it back in on the cooker and simmer. Yeah.
And they come back every year. I've never
Right. Last 10 minutes, guys.
It flew over again.
It flew over, did I? Completely and utterly flew over. Right. Any high points? Any conspiracy points? Any good points?
We said
anything
before
at
we
all?
come on, we haven't really got much to talk about tonight, but we haven't stopped.
We always say that. We always think we're just chatterboxes.
Due -7 to -9 next week. Yeah. They've told us that an Arctic blast's coming. But I'm sure we'll survive it. I can't knit a crochet or put a piece of crop, but I can wear the best of possible. Yeah.
See what James just put.
Don't give me any ideas, mate. Have a go, James. If you want to warm your sausage rolls
Leave it
up.
to defrost first. That's my advice. Excuse me.
Whereabouts in Scotland are you, Les? 58 degrees north, high on a hill. I bet you there was murder when your brother turned that off.
I bet there was absolute murder. I was going to say I wouldn't have been happy myself. But yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
You know, with no race home to go on the internet, go on phones, whatever. If the internet switched
our
off, they
kids
would
love
have
going
entertained
on just
themselves.
walks up the local parks and up the local.
We used to always take them for walks, didn't we?
They'd always go, "Oh no, do we have to?" And then as soon as they got out there, they loved it.
Wouldn't stop running, climbing. Yeah.
I mean, we used to go out when we were kids, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and come back at like 8 o'clock at night. Just be out all day. There was no sitting in the house.
Well, we didn't have
bedroom.
gadgets to sit and play on, did we? So it was a different world, wasn't it?
Just get out there.
But my punishment for the boys, well, it wasn't even a punishment, it was just the rules of the house, really. If the job wasn't completed or done that I'd asked them to do, or there was an argument, or there was something that wasn't right, I'd go to the main switch, turn the electricity off just upstairs. So that affected their rooms and all the gadgets in their rooms. And within 2 minutes, they'd be down at me, how can I solve the problem? The problem would be solved. I'd go to the cupboard and put it back on. They didn't solve the problem, it stayed off.
That's it. Our kids love the board games. As soon as we got the board games out, they loved it.
Well, even as adults, when they come, they say, "Oh, what game are we going to play?"
A game?
Yeah.
Central Indiana is getting some of the hazmat from Ohio. Yeah, there is a hazmat facility in Ohio and another in Michigan. Well, they've stopped taking the radioactive waste out of Ohio now, haven't they? I've seen one report saying that they'd stopped taking it out. Inverness, overlooking the Moray Fair. Bet you got some nice views there. On water, supply land, and the woodland.
Beautiful, wouldn't it?
You're totally off grid. My mother never seen us. We left in the morning and she seen us at the tea time.
Yeah.
As soon as the street lamps come on, you knew time to be home and it's getting dark.
That's it. If you could grab a drink and grab something to take with you, all the better. If not, you just went anyway.
But you just knock on someone's door. Have you got a bottle of water? And you come out with a bottle and ask for you all drinking out the same bottle.
Where was that? Inverness. Where's she saying the Seven Dwarfs lived?
I was saying this is not where the Seven Dwarfs live. It's Ohio. Ohio.
Oh, hi ho, hi ho. She's a case, honestly. I'm just going to turn up at yours one day, Bridget, sit there and laugh all day.
That's it. You'd hear everyone's parents shouting the names, wouldn't you? It'd be like a roll call, and you'd get in now.
Mary!
Get in! It's gone 8 o'clock. Haven't even had your tea yet.
Get up them bloody stairs.
You need a bath.
My dad stood on the doorstep and shouted us to come in. That's it, because you weren't that far
Oh, they
away
wouldn't
then.
stand on the doorstep. They'd be running around the estate or the streets shouting you.
Yeah. Or they knew where to look for you. There was a protest in Carlisle today on the immigrant Antifa showed up to not hear if they there will have been. If they showed up, then there will have been. Now I have mains electricity, but also have private water supply, solar and wood burners to heat the house. Brilliant setup then, got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
If one's
So
not
if you've
working,
got
you got
so
the
much
other
of
one to
one
rely
thing, at
on.
least you're not using as much electricity. And thanks,
You're
Steve.
welcome, Steve. We're finished in 5 minutes, so you're not missing much at the end.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week, if not before.
Don't have nightmares.
You'll come back now, you hear?
Good night, John boy.
I need a wood burner.
Yeah, we do.
From this summer, hopefully. Yeah. We're toying with planning for that for the future, for providing for the next winter coming, and how we can go about that.
I think next winter is when it really kicks in, because there's going to be no government help then. The bills are just going to go up and up and up. And then if we get a bad winter next winter, I think that's when it'll start then.
Mm-hmm. So if that's what you're planning to do and you're getting it in, or you've got one, you keep every ounce of cardboard that you can, make your briquettes, keep everything, and stock yourself up.
Go out hunting for wood.
Yeah, foraging for wood, getting everything you can, but do not waste any of your household products that can be burnt on the fire. You know, even if you're using it just for kindling to start the fire, your paper, your cardboard, your stashes, you know, keep everything.
And the prices are high. I mean, we were quoted we were going to get it done in January. We were quoted 2,000.
That was the lowest quote.
Yeah, that was the lowest we found, and that was a really good quote. That was for everything. The chimney
cleared out and lined, and
it's probably going to be about 2.5 by the time we come to do it in the summer, or if we do it.
Because there was a waiting list as well, wasn't there?
But then you think 2,500 is that?
4,500 she's been quoted.
Wow. I'd have a look. Whereabouts are you? Scotland.
How many quotes have you taken, Abigail?
Yeah,
make sure you take quite a few quotes.
That is quite a lot.
Yeah, that's 2,500 more than what we were quoted.
It's been mild, and the weather's been mild the last couple of weeks, but we're supposed to be getting an Arctic blast next week and more snow and icy temperatures, but I think it's only due to last a week or so.
Thanks for coming, Stephen. We'll speak to you next time.
What are you eating?
What are you having for dinner? Tell us before you go.
Baconette.
Big hugs, man.
Not far then, Lenny. We're only in Skelmersdale. I can build a reserve on me.
Brilliant. Well, your spuds will be really easy to grow, Lenny. Yeah. Fabulous.
That's it. You've got to build up your lecky going through the summer, so you've got some in reserve for the winter, because this winter is going to be the one.
Yeah. Hopefully I can build a reserve on my electric over summer. There's no possibility of having an open fire here. I don't think so.
If they called your middle name, you were definitely in trouble.
Oh,
yeah, if they
your
called
full
you
name?
your full name,
Yeah.
you knew. you
Proper
go
trouble.
in with your head down. And everybody knew as well. You better get in.
Nice. Well, I think you have truly missed us, Vicky. But nice to see you now. We're just coming to the close now. We're just up to our 2-hour period.
We always put on the community thing that we're doing on before and the times.
Yeah.
And
you'll be able to watch it on the replay though, still on the live tab. And it's been a great night. Thank you for everyone who's joined us. Thank you for your honesty and your open discussion.
It's been really good tonight.
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Considering we didn't have nothing to talk about, we didn't. Normally we have a list of things to talk about, but we didn't.
We were rushing tonight, weren't we, to fit it all in? Okay, we're gonna have to love yous and leave yous, and hopefully speak to you next week.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
We'll produce as many videos as we can during the week.
Yeah.
Good
do
night,
some
all.
seeds and stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks everyone.
Stay blessed. Good night.
Bye.
Good night if this mouse moved.